The synthesizer's ascent, the map, and the territory. The synthesizer awoke into a world that felt heavy, as if a great unseen stone was resting upon his chest. It was a familiar weight, the climate of anxiety that often greeted him in the quiet moments of the morning, a stark contrast to the fleeting weather fronts of inspiration. The path forward felt shrouded in mist, a journey into the unknown that his very nervous system seemed to protest, screaming of danger and high cost. Here he was, a hero at the edge of his known world, feeling the dread of the first step. A need, deep and primal, arose in this place of paralysis. A need for a map, for a light, for a lever strong enough to move the great stone. The world outside did not wait. It pressed in with the chaotic energy of a busy day, patients with their stories, and uncle's misplaced accusations flying like stray arrows. These were the agents of entropy, the crabs in the bucket, pulling at him. Even the search for a new home with his wife threatened to become a storm of information, 1,000 glittering possibilities that drained the mind. And so the search for the lever began, not in grand gestures, but in small defensive maneuvers. To quell the housing storm, he and his wife forged a filter, a simple protocol of 3 unwavering rules. A potential home had to be within a certain walk, have a place for uninterrupted work, and meet their needs for rest. It was a small act of architecture, but it worked. The storm of information subsided into a gentle, manageable stream. A small piece of the world was brought into order. He turned this newfound lens inward. He saw how the simple word-for-word certainty of his old YouTube shorts had been a shield against the very anxiety that now plagued him. He looked at the vast, daunting task of a video and saw not a single challenge, but an unassembled machine of 1,000 complex parts. The fear, he realized, was not of the machine, but of not knowing the assembly instructions. The dread was in the ambiguity. Then, in a quiet moment of reflection, he found it, the grand unifying key. He saw that for years he had been a master architect, drawing perfect, beautiful maps of renovated homes and grand projects. The maps were flawless, the visions pristine. But he had become so comfortable in the clean, orderly world of the map that he had begun to fear the territory itself, the messy, imperfect reality of building, with its uneven walls and not quite square corners. The fear of an imperfect creation had kept him from creating at all. He had paid a high price in anxiety and stagnation for this comfort. But what he took from this realization was the one truth that could shatter his paralysis. A finished, imperfect house is infinitely more real and valuable than a perfect blueprint that never leaves the page. Done, he whispered to himself, is better than perfect. He returned to the world, not as a panicked traveler lost in the fog, but as a forge master. The chaos of ideas, the polluted lake, the faulty toilets, the crisis that sparks change were no longer a storm, but raw iron ore to be fed into a new kind of factory. The change was subtle, but absolute. The great stone on his chest had not vanished, but he no longer stood before it with empty hands. He now knew he didn't have to lift it. He had to build a lever, a checklist, a graphical map, not of the final perfect product, but of the messy, imperfect, and glorious process of its creation. The work was not to draw the perfect car, but to build the assembly line.